Hello and welcome to PolyInnovator. Now, this is the Now Page vlog number 18 for January 2022. Now, first off, I get to use my new mic. This is my new setup that I've been working with, and on top of that too, it's a new year. I'm super excited for this, and I hope you are too.
Dustin Miller, PolyInnovator.
Now, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I do have kind of a strained voice. I guess I did sing a little too hard at New Year's last night. Me and karaoke, it's always been one of those things where I love going. And I almost have like this tradition now to go to karaoke for New Year's. And there's even a friend I met at karaoke on New Year's. And so, also, just on a completely side note, you can see the World of Warcraft logo right there. I'm not even a big WoW fan, but this mic was super nice, and I was able to get a good trade for it. So it was pretty cool. Actually, I think that basically happened last month, and so it's worth mentioning too. I got this nice mic arm and this microphone on a trade. So I've been trying to sell this TV that I had. It was a 1080p 32-inch non-smart TV. Super nice screen, nice and crisp. Had no need for it. So I was trying to sell it for $100. I even dropped it down to $80. No one was biting. I reached out to the guy who was selling this microphone stand because it was a really nice Blue Yeti Yeticaster. And I was like, okay, I want that stand. And I asked about the microphone, like, hey, what can we do about it? He's like, oh, I'll toss it in with it, because I want the TV. And he got the TV for his family, so his family could watch stuff and stuff. And he traded both of these for it. And I was like, that's an amazing deal, and I'm super happy about it. Especially since this microphone is a upgrade compared to my old one. My old one was like the normal Blue Yeti, and that came out in like 2012. This came out last year. I was like, yes, yeah, nice upgrade. All in all, this is a start of a new year, and new year, new me. I hate New Year's resolutions, so I'm not really doing that. I did set some new goals, though, where I wanted to not drink any alcohol, not drink any soda this year, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like, I have tried that before, and it's been difficult, because there's always, sometimes you really want that soda in the morning just to, have that fizziness. I mean, there's alternatives like those, little flavored waters that are like that, but honestly, it doesn't really do the same. But I think I'm gonna be able to stick to it because I don't like how it makes me feel. I get bad heartburn when I drink soda, and it's just not really worth it. So this whole year, and I mean that as in 2021, has been really, honestly, just kind of hard. It's just been hard all around, and it wasn't necessarily because of COVID per se. It was more along the lines of just content and work and just trying to get things done. I felt behind all year, and honestly, it made me think about it. This recently, I started up my Omni content again, which I think it was in November, but I started it out December, getting the Omni content back out, and it's been over a year since I was able to do that, and so I was really excited to really start that back up. And it's one of those things where it was a big deal. In fact, I just finished, I guess yesterday or the day before yesterday, the season finale of that mini-series, I guess you could say. I guess a series finale of that mini-series around the multidisciplinary spectrum, which is something I've been really wanting to get content out for a long time about. And I finally got it done. However, it's also been one of those things where I had to put all the Omni content on hold so I can get these interviews out, because that was the only thing I had bandwidth for. I wasn't really playing very many video games, and when I was, it was like Apex Legends, and honestly, I probably spent too much time with that game. I think that might have distracted me, but it was also one of my only releases because I didn't have a console anymore after I sold it during quarantine. And I actually sold both my Xbox and PS4. And I realized my mistake because sometimes I just want to sit down on the couch and play a game. And that's literally just my way of relaxing. Even if you get mad at the game, it's still a fun way to relax. And I realized, oh man, I really do need a console. And you can't buy one because of the chip shortages. And so this whole past year, I kind of struggled because I haven't really had much of a release, because Apex is kind of stressful. It's a competitive game, and it wasn't really that much fun at some points because you just kind of get people who are cheating or something like that. And so I had no release, and I was actually working way more because of just my bosses needed more help, and so I actually stepped up and did a lot more at the recreation center that I work for still technically. And it was really great. I was really happy to do so, and I have no regrets of doing that. But by working so much, it put me in such kind of a state where when I would come home, I wouldn't necessarily want to work on the interviews as much, and those are the only things I would work on because I just need to get those out. And I made the mistake, I think, at the beginning of the year, just recording way too many, way too quick. I don't really regret that though, because even though I kind of made some people salty because I took forever to get the interviews out, I think that if I didn't do those interviews then, I might have not had a chance to have those interviews at all. There's that kind of opportunity cost where if I waited till next year or this year, this new year, if I waited till then, people might have been more busy, people might have said no, people weren't in the right kind of state of mind for that kind of thing. And maybe if we'll go back down in lockdown, maybe it'll happen again. But there was no guarantee that, like, everyone was hopeful that everything was going to be ending. And so I was like, okay, I got to take advantage of this opportunity while it's still here. And so I'm glad I did. I only have a couple more, and I am kind of upset that I failed at my 2 goals last month. That was to finish all the interviews and get those out. And then the other one was set up the LLC for PolyInnovator, because that's the only way I can really get these things monetized. And I don't need to sell a whole bunch of stuff right now, but I do want to get it monetized and get that building out, because that's going to make a big deal. There's certain tools I can't even use until I have it monetized. And so this whole idea of creating this LLC is a really big goal right now. So I was really happy to find an Xbox One X, because you can't buy the new consoles anywhere. It's really bad where the entire market, including like PC parts too, is completely scalped, and even if there aren't scalped, there's a shortage on the chips, and so you just really can't do anything like that. In the bigger view, what's coming up, the macro, if you will, I am really excited about content. I'm really struggling today and yesterday, and just really this week in general. I think partially fatigue from the holidays. Holidays is always something I don't care so much about anymore. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, or if I really kind of see how trivial they are. Like, they're meant to spend time with family. That's the biggest thing, and I'm happy to do so. And I like gifts. I like giving gifts. I like getting gifts, and so I do enjoy the holidays in that regard, but I don't necessarily enjoy all the stress and pressure that comes out. And so I'm kind of glad to get those over with. I have one more kind of like semi-holiday thing to do with my family member, and like that's about it. And so the only other thing I have to really worry about now is content, because the work I'm doing is pretty open, where I'm going to have plenty of time to work on stuff. And so in the blog post corresponding with this video, I shared a image of what my calendar looks like for the next month. And there's actually 3 days there where it's empty, and it's only because I procrastinated on the finale. And honestly, I can see why. Like, the finale was really big. It was the longest only content yet. And the only reason why I accepted it being that linked was because it was a finale. But I kept kind of like putting it off, but also having a hard time finishing it, because I kept writing. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. And so this really amazing post, a really amazing video, and this really funny part is that you can't really enjoy it fully unless you watch all the other ones before it. So, like, if you do want to check it out, go check out the original Multi-Potential Light Jack of all trades. At least start at Jack of all trades, because the Multi-Potential Light one was pretty far back when I made it. But I wanted to make content around each one of those terms, for one. I wanted to make content around the multidisciplinary spectrum, for two. And I really wanted to make this a series so that way people can watch it in order. And so I was finally able to get that out. I had a weird kind of situation with the whole Supra yearly review. I still haven't even done it fully, but last year, at the end of the year, I managed to make my own template. I foregoed Ali Abdal's and August Bradley's template. I did look at their stuff, and I liked what they were doing, but I didn't like what they're doing for me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to not use those templates and just make my own, which ended up being a really good idea. And so that way I could also include that template in my Poly Innovation operating system too whenever that gets released. I really want to set out like a full system for people to use. And so this picture I had in the post has like 1 or 2 posts every day, and the reason why there's 2 is that's because I want to work on the interview transcriptions and get those out. And it's already 7 p.m. and I haven't finished that one today, so I'm really frustrated about that, but I'm gonna try to get done. No matter what, I'm gonna make a piece of content every day. So one of my goals for this year, and that's for the first 60 days, is to release a piece of content every day. And hopefully one of the other goals is to reach 1,000 subscribers, so I think that'll be really achievable. And so I'm really hoping that these 2 things could happen, and I'm really excited about that. And so really this idea of creating content and really pushing things out, that's my main thing. That's what I'm mainly excited about. And the really cool thing is there's a lot of cool posts that I'm going to be making that are related to a lot of stuff I've been doing lately, and I'm really excited about that. Other than that, I'll be working a little bit more differently, and honestly, this is like a short video because that's all I really have to say. Is like, expect more content, expect more work, and expect more really just in general. But cheers, thank you, bye.